Detroit emerging from bankruptcy. And we're wondering in the audience, has that impacted your business at all or not? Did it have any?
Only on the margins. It didn't affect us specifically. I think the good takeaway from it is that it's finally cleared the slate and allowed the state to move, the city to move forward. Police, fire, protection, those kind of things is what we all really crave in Detroit. But the actual it itself didn't touch Bettermate that much at all.
Same for me. I mean, it didn't affect business. If anything, it actually even got busier. People got the feeling, I mean, they can afford a hot dog before they can afford something else. But the main concern is making sure police, fire, EMS, that's taken care of. And there's still a lot of work that needs to be done there. But that's the main thing. You know, me as a business, I did great. I'm still doing good. You know, we've seen good, bad. Everyone's eating a hot dog at one point. So that's where I was with that.
Well, yeah, like Grace, we didn't really see a change in our business, but we did see some new projects finally get going. For the folks who come down to the Eastern Market, we have brand new streets and bridges. I mean, these bridges were horrible; they're about to collapse. And so now we have brand new roadways. Lighting is improved. So we see a lot more interest, a lot more confidence for people to to drive from wherever they're from and come down to the Eastern Market. So that's been a positive.
One audience member is also asking this: how do the suburbs help enhance your Detroit businesses? There's always a question about the relationship between the city of Detroit, and even though we live in Troy, when we go out of town, we say Detroit when we are asked where we're from, because that's what people know. What about that relationship between the city and the suburbs? Does that impact your business at all?
We have people from the suburbs every day. I mean, it's half our lunch rush, it's half our Red Wing crowd, it's half the Lions on Sunday to the ice skating ring on the weekend. So to me, it's one of the same. Everybody's there. Everyone from the suburbs is there. So, I mean, we're busy from it.
And we sell far more of our product in the suburbs than we do within the city, just because there's more population there. So again, it's something that's talked about a lot, but the direct effect on us is there's almost no border.
Yeah, we had few accounts in the city of Detroit. Now we have a lot more. So I love to see the balance coming back. But traditionally, we've been a distributor as well, getting our products out to supermarkets and we're going pop-up concepts and some other things out to the suburbs. So yeah, it's starting to come more back in balance, and we're happy to see it.
Where do you see the opportunities are to expand? You're already getting into roasting coffee. Do you see it in the addition of more products, or do you see it in distribution? Worldwide, perhaps. Do you see selling red pistachios in Russia? In Spain?
Well, we love to sell products everywhere, and we're focusing, it's one thing to have a relationship with a big retailer, but they can be very tough to work with. They can have a lot of demands for pricing and deliveries and timing deliveries. So we're trying to find alternative ways to get our product out. So Hugh mentioned one of our biggest accounts is QVC. So we're on QVC every few days actually with products, and that gets us out to a whole audience outside of this area. We're also doing more with our own retail concepts as a way to still work with those big retail, big box stores, but find a way to reach the folks who may not go into some of those big stores as well.
And how does that work? Do you pay a fee to QVC? Do they get a percentage of the sales?
Well, they're very smart folks. In fact, what we say, and they know what they're doing. When you see that ticker going online for the number of products sold, that is real. And so they measure sales in revenue per second. So revenue per second.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Is it too late to buy stock?
And then the other thing they do is in the middle of a presentation, they'll cue the food stylist, which is the name of their person on the show, and then our person to go back and touch on certain things when they see certain spikes in sales. So anyways, as far as the deal, how it works out, we get a list of customers, and then we have trucks show up to ship out all the products. Typically, we sell in batches of 3 products, all associated with some theme. And then QVC pretty much handles collection of the sale, and then getting information out to us.
There was a famous comedian from Detroit who tried to start a Coney dog restaurant in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
did not work.
No.
But it's working in the D in Las Vegas.
It's working real well. There's a long story to that comedian that started that, but we won't go there. He called me after he opened it, and I warned him. They came to me for advice, and initially I said, you know, hey, we can do like a license agreement if you want to use my chili. I mean, this guy orders Coney kits all the time. Still today, he's got like Tom Cruise calling me going, oh, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. So he decided he wants to open this Coney Island, and I'll give you the Cliff Note version of it. I gave him a little bit of advice. He decided he wanted to go with more of a all-style Detroit or a Lafayette chili and a national hot dog and, you know, all the wannabe ones. So I'm like, okay, it's not gonna go. It's not gonna go because it's the branding, I'm telling you. But hey, that's cool, all is good. We opened up Vegas, it's been 4 years now. A year after he opened up the one in LA, I get a phone call from Mike Binder.
Mike Binder.
He's a good guy, we're still friends today. I said, he orders Coney kits every week. He goes, Grace, you were right. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. He goes, are you interested in maybe buying this and doing it? I'm like, I'm good, thanks, I got my hands full. Told you so. You know. That was it, that was pretty much it.
Well, Mark, I'm from Louisiana. I don't see better made potato chips when I go to Baton Rouge in New Orleans.
Well, you see Zapp's.
I do Zapp's, yes.
Zapp's.
But distribution, going beyond the boundaries of your current marketing.
Well, we have just recently, just within the last year, we've added some distributorships outside of the Michigan area. Believe it or not, as well known as we are here, you get south of Toledo and people have not heard of Better Made. And in Chicago, people really don't know about us that well.
Well, somebody in the audience says, look, what about getting those chips to Ohio? We want to see them in Columbus and in Cleveland.
There are a lot of regional players in Ohio, and that is a knife fight going into that state. I'll tell you.
You can do it.
We've had new distributorships. We've got one guy in South Carolina that's just running with it. And he's in the backyard of some really big regional areas there, and he's added 3 routes in the last year. And I've always been told it's really hard to bring a potato chip, a new brand, into a market that's not familiar with it. You have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars in marketing and awareness. And this guy said, I'll do it. And I said, great, let's see. I'm like, bidder, right? Well, he ran with it, and he's making a great job. And now we've got one in Texas and one in almost up in California against the Arizona state line. So starting to go there. This time next year, we may be in a lot more states.
So are you saying that there are franchise opportunities available for some of these products?
We'd like to see them in the D.
Bring it, yeah, let's do that.
No,
We should come up with Coney kits.
That's right.
Chips and Coney kits. We
That's
throw in
right.
some pistachios too.
Here's some pistachio flavored chips.
Put it on the Coney.
Is it possible in the current business environment to launch a new product, a new service in this region and have it successful? Or is it so difficult now because of the rules, the regulations, the taxes, the employee demands to get something started and keep it going successfully?
Are you talking about a mature product like ours or anything?
Anything.
It's going to be more difficult with a mature product like ours. I mean, there's so much saturation in the market of the potato chips. Of course, a new widget or gizmo or something like that, you can do that anywhere. But the barriers to entry are high, and the highest is distribution and marketing, I think. It's not cheap to buy the equipment to make potato chips, don't get me wrong there, but you could make the best chip, but if you don't have a distribution and a name, it's going to be very difficult.
Well, look, I look at Subway, I look at McDonald's, Wendy's. Why don't I see American Coney Islands across the country?
Because then we're not a specialty Coney Island. Then we're just like every other guy in a corner. And I won't name the names around here, and you all know which ones they are. So, we're a specialty Coney Island. It's a whole different thing. And we want to be that way. We're a destination, we're an institution in Detroit. Now you're going to say you opened up in Las Vegas. Well, Las Vegas is a no-brainer. A location like that, I mean, I get calls every week, come, to Texas, come to Chicago, come. I don't want to do that. If you want it, that's why I started my shipping company. We ship you Coney kits right to your front door. Christmas is crazy right now. But it has to be something extraordinary because it cheapens, I feel, at least in my opinion, our brand. If you can just get it anywhere, that's why I haven't done it. So you want to come see us, come to Detroit, come to Las Vegas, order them. there you go. And, not to say there's not room for there's other specialty places, and we'll see, stand by.
A new nut. You created the red pistachio. Maybe the blue one.
No, we'll stop on the GMO. We're trying to modify it. We're introducing new products, and I guess what I'll comment on is it's not impossible to launch a new product. We see it all the time. We have a retail store. We welcome people with newer products to come in and sell. Eastern Market, I have to give a plug for them. They have a community kitchen that you can lease out, and this is all commercial equipment that you can finalize in your offering. They'll also hook you up with a company to get you advice. So there are resources. It is possible. It is difficult. And we talked about regulation. The amount of equipment and the cost of the equipment to scale is very, very expensive. And so that is an impediment. And I guess we have banks for that, so we need a loan.
I think Huel's got an idea. I think Huel's got a great idea. We got the election coming up. We got red and blue states. We got red and blue pistachios.
Oh, I like that.
Great idea.
No sparkling green in there anymore?
There you go.
We'll try a new color.
MSU against Alabama, December 31st.
That's right.
We know it's going to be. Where do you get your employees? I am a father, married 32 years. I have a 21-year-old son who's about to graduate in film. I tried to tell him, don't do that, but he wouldn't listen. But where do you get your employees? Young college graduates coming out of MSU, University of Michigan, Wayne State, U of M Mercy. How do you hire? Where do you find the people that you put on your payroll? Mark.
Well, we do a lot of on the monster board, that kind of thing. But believe it or not, the best that we get is word of mouth from our current employees. That's where we know that this person has been a great employee for a long period of time, and if he's not going to jeopardize his position by vouching for someone that's not going to be able to do it. So a lot of it's word of mouth.
My name is not Garros. My son's name is not Garros. Can he still get a job?
Absolutely. He's going to need it for this film thing for a while. I think I've done more movies with than he has. Yes, so bring them. But same as you just said, word of mouth. Employees that have been with me forever, whether it's a family member, a good friend, and they'll vouch for them. And because if they don't, I'm like, listen, you're both gone. If this isn't going to work, so you better make sure. And it works out. It's worked out.
Yeah, the same for us. I mean, a referral from someone who works for us is phenomenal. And frankly, these folks are young, and it's unbelievable the talent that some of these people have. So we've been blessed with great employees. We have a fellow who just joined us, maybe in his early 20s. He does so much stuff on social media and graphic design. It's incredible. So we are lucky, and that was a referral from someone.
You mentioned the political climate, Mark, and how unsure it is right now. All of you know that the loudest mouth in the country is now leading in the polls for the Republican nomination. That is the way it is. That is the way it is. Now, I don't know whether he will win the nomination. I don't think he will win the White House, but the country is in turmoil right now. Many of us are fearful. Many of us are not sure of the direction that we should go. Does this impact your business at all? When you decide on the candidate that you will support, do you think primarily of business, of politics, or are there other concerns?
That's a great question. How much time have we got? When we support a candidate, my official as president of the company is we want someone who's going to be able to regulate and even out the business environment. But we pay attention, a lot of attention to social and international things too. It's an entire package, and you really can't have. Our last two presidents have both focused on one and neglected the other, and then a switch, and it hasn't. Neither one of them, good for the country.
I'd say kind of neutral with all this, but I mean, you're going to support who's going to help the small business, and where you feel you're going to see, growth, and what's going to help, whether it be from your employees to me as the business owner. So in general, all the way around. Do I pay attention to it? Very seriously, but I just do my thing, whatever happens. I mean, I'm one vote, it helps, but I just keep doing what I have to do and go with it.
Yeah, well, yeah, politics not my strong suit, but yeah, it can be a distraction, so whichever provides the least distraction keeps our country prosperous and at peace. That means people can go out and shop more, so yeah, I guess that's...
Well, I may be in the minority, but frankly, I think the people in this room are the lifeblood of this country. And it really doesn't matter who's in the White House, it's what's happening in your house that is far more important. We do ultimately decide, if we believe in the creed of America, we do decide the direction of this country. And more importantly, we decide what happens in our homes, in our businesses. And that is what produces the outcomes we most desire, I believe.
Yes.
Well, look, thank you all for coming. I want to give another round of applause to this young man. Aaron has done a wonderful job.